Baby, don't hurt me no more. I'll stop singing because I know a lot of you guys are already tuning out. It's the most frequent question that getting asked on Twitter recently. I don't know why. All of a sudden, it's almost as if they're noticing that there is a change in culture. People are voting with their wallets. Gamers have finally had enough. There's a new trend going on where old games are witnessing a spike in activity. Like if you look at Steam, you will notice that, for instance, Batman Arkham City is actually getting more people playing than Suicide Squad, despite the fact that Suicide Squad released the DLC. I mean, you gotta give it to these people. They have balls. They're chicks with dicks. They have massive balls. When you notice the failure of the game, Forspoken did the same. The game catastrophic failure, but they're coming out with DLC. I understand that maybe they have contractual obligations, but like at this point, it's just like burn it to the ground. Just stop embarrassing yourself. Just stop. Just stop. It's like, again, but my description of what's happening, because like there was a guy from Ubisoft pissing his eyes. I'll make a video about it. Absolutely hilarious. A director of sales at Ubisoft, and it's like, oh, those pesky gamers are to blame. They wish my company to fail. Look at the evil in the world. Like, our company is good and righteous. But those gamers are a small vocal minority that just wants bad things to happen. And then I look at LinkedIn and I see other developers from other companies. What are you doing, Tovarish? I thought that we're all in this together. Like, if I'm a developer and if you're a developer, we're comrades. We're like brothers in arms. We swore an oath. Like, we had Karl Marx manifesto and we swore on it that we will protect each other. Why are you siding with the customers? No, it's madness. Seriously. Like, these people are batshit insane. I don't even know what they have to do next to any type of business, let alone working in one. But when you look at what they are saying, it's like, that, dude, it's... If you were to write a book about them, people will say that it's unbelievable. Like, it's such bad fiction, bad writing, because human beings just don't act like that. But again, you see what Ubisoft developers are saying on Twitter, especially when a higher up opens his mouth. Like, when a higher up opens his mouth, it makes me believe in Jesus. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, and I cross myself. I cross myself. It's like, Lord, please protect me. Like, I don't want the stupidity to come from the screen and infect me. Jesus. I know that the mother of stupid people is always pregnant, but why are they all working at Ubisoft? What's going on? So yeah, it's like no, seriously, like the director of sales coming out and it's like, those vocal minority of gamers are to blame. They're the chads. And I'm like, okay, if you make a game that's good, it can even be woke and people will play it. Like, you cannot boycott a game that's good. Let me give you an example. Hogwarts, right? Like, Hogwarts, they tried boycotting it. There were a lot of leftists, and they even went to harass streamers that were... None of it worked. The Chinese shit. What is the Chinese shit? Genshin Impact, right? Genshin Impact, massive boycott. I mean, look at the skin color, like the race, the heritage, the pedigree. This is not how you represent African Americans, Chinese people. What is wrong with you? The color palette. Do you not play games from the West? Do you not know how to represent Americans properly? Are you insane? We will boycott. And they did. And nothing happened. Right? So, like, if the game is good, you cannot shit talk the game. Baldur's Gate 3 was a game that I personally wish it didn't sell. It's just my hope, because then maybe people at Larian would fire staff and they would make another Divinity Original Sin that's actually good. I didn't like the Baldur's Gate 3. And those of you who did, wait until Baldur's Gate 4. I have a feeling Baldur's Gate 4 is going to be utter shit. Hopefully I'm wrong, like, there's always room for my mistakes. But I have a feeling that Baldur's Gate 4 is going to be utter shit. We'll see. However, I did want it to fail, because it is a woke game. But it's good. And if it's good, it's not going to fail. Simple as. Like, if you make a good game, it doesn't matter who bitches and whines and complains. If I make, like, 10 videos shitting on Baldur's Gate 3, no one is going to watch them. You're barely going to get any traction. Right? They genuinely believe that the YouTubers, like content creators, are telling people, hey, this game is bad, and people are like, you know what? I actually like this game, but if he says it's bad, then I will stop fucking playing, right? Man, there's so many bad things with Baldur's Gate 3. Don't get me started. The reason Baldur's Gate 3 is good is that the gameplay is solid. The environmentals are good. The questing is decent. The reactions that you're getting from NPCs, your choices matter, right? But the characters themselves are bland as fuck. And again, I talked the previous stream. A druid violated me. Like, this druid jacked up on steroids comes to me and wants to... Oh, and by the way, I know what triggers it. I know why every single male character in the game wants to clap your cheeks. If you have a relationship with a female character like Lizelle or something, right? And then you break up with her. Like let's say you start a relationship with Lizelle, but then you're like, you know what? I want to actually seduce the elf, or I want to be with someone. The moment you break up, all the men characters think you're gay, and they think you're lusting for them. So they start hitting on you. And again, the druid that looks jacked up, like he comes to you, and it's like, I want to pound your ass, boy, or press X for consent. And it's like, no, druid, no. I have an Ushikushi elvish waifu. I will pound her as well, boy, or press X for consent, you know? You can consent for her as well. Like, consent on her behalf, it's fine. Just maddening, you know? So, no, the game is a little bit woke. He was dead in my game. Oh, my goodness. My greatest satisfaction was to get all of those, what was it? The refugees. Oh, those entitled little pricks. Couldn't even defeat a couple of goblins. Oh, no, we're in the woods and we're hunted by goblins. Oh, what do we do? We're going to go to the druids and force them. Force the druids to keep us safe while we pillage their sacred artifacts and, yeah. Bring the shit to the druids. Why not? Yeah. God, the only problem was that two of those tieflings were actually kind of cute, so I liked them. I felt bad that there were like two Ishikushi ladies about the tieflings, but like other than that, no. Every single one of them irredeemable. Go fuck themselves. Every single one, no exception. Right. Consent on her behalf. No, literally, it's what the druid does. Like if you're in a relationship and you're saying, "Look, I'm straight," he doesn't get it. It's like, what is that? There is no straight. It's just Baldur's Gate. No straight involved. If you're straight after one night in the woods with me, you're going to become bisexual. You think Baldur's Gate 4 will be just a visual novel dating sim? No, I think these individuals that make these types of games are very bigoted, very close-minded, very hateful, cheeky little shits. And usually, they do not work well with others, right? So you can have people that are competent, people that are bringing solutions, that are creative, and they will be fired from the company. It just doesn't work. You cannot have these people working in community with anyone that's not like them. I mean, look what happened with Gina Corrado, right? Like, why did Gina Corrado get in trouble? Because she didn't want to put pronouns in her bio. That's what started it. She's working at Disney, strong, empowered woman. The fans like her, perfect actress for the job. And then they're forcing her to put pronouns in the bio. And she goes like, no, I don't want to put pronouns in the bio. And that was like a declaration of war for them. That's what pissed them off, right? So, no, you cannot have competent people working with these individuals. The over-sexualization. There was no over-sexualization in Baldur's Gate 3. The problem is, there was no romance, no build-up. Like, I'm fine with over-sexualization, but, like, it needs to be done properly. And besides that, all the women ugly as fuck, and all the men, you know, the game is filled, well, not actually, it doesn't have LGBT flags, but may as well just be filled with LGBT flags and naked men, right? But when it comes to female characters, like, even that elf chick, what is her name? The Paladin, right? Now, the Paladin was actually okay. Like, I liked her personality and whatnot. But she was hag-maxing as fuck. Like, if I was to try to hagify her more, she would have looked like that auntie from, that villain hag. Yeah, you put her next to her and you don't know which is which. And a lot of people liked her, I guess, personality-wise. But like, she was hag-maxing. And that demon lady, right, the devil lady, which was also supposed to be seductive. I liked her personality, but my god, when you see her naked and she has those boobs and just asymmetrical tits, Like, why couldn't they give her D-sized boobies? Like she's all about temptation and whatnot. Just make her a proper succubus. So give her a plump ass. Like, your male characters are buffed to the max, jacked on steroids, and all of your women are either mid or hang maxing. Yeah, Mizora. No, the problem, again, is not that what they're creating. The problem is that they think that this is what people want. This is their fantasy, right? Like, your fantasy is riding around with a woman at menopause. That's Minecraft for all censors. I see. DSP upset Baldur's Gate 3 made his character gay. Well, you gotta make your character gay. I think like that's what they're actually aiming for. If you want some fan service, if you want, you know, something that doesn't gouge your eyes out, I guess like male characters are there, and they fit that purpose. Anyway, right, the Actman issued a challenge, and I don't think he's going to respond to me, which is disappointing but expected, right? So the Actman said, if any YouTubers wanna have a discussion or a debate with me, here's where you can post, right? So, let me see if I can show you guys. If any YouTubers want to have a discussion and or debate with me on wokeness in video games, feel free to DM me or reply to this tweet. I'm still very interested in the subject, and I love talking about all the facets of gaming, politics included, right? So I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. Just bring it on. Bring it on, boy. Yeah, I gotcha. And it's not like he doesn't see it, because I got like almost 700 likes. I got almost 700 likes. There is no fucking way he doesn't see it. And he actually responded to someone else, right? But I don't expect that he will take me on the offer, right? I genuinely don't. Still, yeah, I'm happy. Yeah, I'll do it. Bring it on. We can have a discussion about wokeness in video. No problem. It's my specialty, you could say. He did discuss with someone else, and the performance of that someone else was beyond abysmal. It's like one of those people that, you know, I would rather have you as an enemy than an ally type of situation. Like, you're making it worse, just shut up. Oh, hold on, there's actually a great meme for it. Jason Schreier has an AMA on Reddit. No, I'm not interested in it. Why would I want to talk with Jason Schreier? Jesus fucking Christ. There is nothing Jason Schreier can say or do that I would find remotely interesting. So, no. Actman, on the other hand, yes. Like, Actman, I would love to talk with him. I genuinely think that he's not a grifter, let's put it like that. I think that Actman actually believes what he says. So, that's a conversation we're having. Jason Schreier, not so much. Right. So, hold on. Let me just... This is how I thought Andy Pants, or whatever the conversation was. This was my thought while watching the video. When someone has the exact same opinion as you, but they express it in such an annoying and obnoxious way that you low-key don't want to agree. Right? This was me. This is like me watching the most cringe... I mean, even he knows it's cringe, because he disabled the comments, Asmongold made fun of him, and then he copyright striked Actman, and when he realized, okay, maybe copyright striking a millionaire over something that would probably win it for him in court is not such a smart idea, so he uncopyright strikes him. And now he's giving sass, like after, after taking the L, he's giving sass to Actman on Twitter, and I'm like, what the fuck? Just, no. No. So I was like, I wish I was there. I wish I could actually talk to Actman about wokeness in video games. Actman is not as bad as Dev, but close. I don't even know what Actman does. The only thing that I know about Actman is that, number one, when he got his channel copyright strike with, I forgot the name of that black gentleman that had the feud with him, I took Actman's side, and I raised awareness. I don't know how much I did, but I did my best, And then Actman said that, oh, people who want to see the skirts of NPCs, fuck you regarding Resident Evil, and I mocked him for it. It's like, yes, straight men, I know this is bizarre for some soy-infused individuals. But like men that are straight, yes, enjoy oogling at female characters. This has been since before I was born. You know, the dad had the Playboy magazines and whatnot. There was like page 8 on the Sunday magazine or the Sunday newspaper in Britain, right? Men like watching tits. I know, shocking, horrifying. Oh, who would have believed? And I do find it a little bit sus that all these people, they ask for LGBT inclusion, right? So they're asking for homosexuality in video games. They're asking for naked men and gay fan service, which is fine. And no one is complaining. Like, there is no pushback against it. Even I'm not pushing back against that, right? If you're a homosexual man or if you're a young woman and you want to lust for Kratos or whatever, go for it. Go for it. You know, I don't care. But why can't straight men have beautiful ushikushi waifus as well in the video game? Like, why is that a problem? Oh, you're gooning. It's like, what? So what? So what? Like, what is your issue with what I do? Go touch grass. I don't wanna. Well, actually, I can understand why people need to smoke pot in order to like the ugly characters that the wokes are making now. Like, in order to like Concord characters, you probably do need to touch grass and roll it and set it afire, you know? Ivy, how, all is good? And your day is going well. We're talking about wokeness. Of course it's going well. Page 3 of the Sun. Oh, look. The man even knows the page. I thought it was page 8, but... Anyone against heterosexuality is a Weimar degenerate at this point. Yeah, because here's the thing, right? Like, they like to pretend that they're actually conservatives. That they're actually, you know, for decency, and they don't like any type of lewdness in video games. But it's false. It absolutely is false, because if they did that, I would actually respect them. I would actually say, you know what, like, fine. Like you want video games, like YouTube, for instance, right? Like, YouTube doesn't allow any type of lewdness or nakedness. And I have nothing against the platform because they're consistent. So I'm like, okay, you know, if I use YouTube, I can't show any lewd images. I can't show anything naughty. It's fine. It's fine, right? But what they do isn't that. They only do that with heterosexuality. But if it's gayness, if it's a man's ass, if it's oogling at a man's pecs, if it's making buff characters, like, that's fine. They have a lot of fan service for LGBT themes, right? Like, that's okay. So that's what pisses me off, because they're not consistent, and I know what they're doing, and I don't agree with it, and I don't understand why I should financially support it. YouTube is consistent except for naked yoga. No, but it's in the rules. It's literally in the rules. They're actually saying, yeah, naked yoga is fine. I don't fucking know why. I don't know what backroom deals they have, or like why naked yoga is permissible. And to be honest, I still wouldn't do it. Like if I if I knew that if I upload a video where a sexy lady does naked yoga, I wouldn't do it on YouTube simply because it's risky. But yeah, I did see channels, and you know what the ladies are doing. Like, there is no way that they're just filming themselves doing yoga. No, it's like for men to look at. Because, you know, the camera zoom and the angles and everything like that. It's like, come on. It's not just naked yoga. There's like a lot of other exceptions as well. So you got the naked yoga. You can breastfeed, right? Like, if you can show nipples if a baby is in the shot. I'm not even kidding. And I don't get it. Like, I don't understand why. Because, like, the idea is, like, all right, well, you need to breastfeed if you're out in town and the baby is hungry. But, like, do you really need to breastfeed in a video that you're recording and you're showing it to the world? And you can do it for medical purposes, like showing women how to check for breast cancer. Again, you can do that with a bra, but, like, okay, fine. Right? So, like, they have, like, some... artistic. So, like, if you go in a museum and you're filming the statue of Venus, or you're playing a video game, I think, like, yeah, if you're playing The Last of Us 2, and you get to that scene with Abby, I think that's fine. But it's a gray area. Like, I wouldn't... Yeah, you'd probably get your video restricted. Yeah. Breastfeeding videos pop up on Facebook. They know exactly what they're doing. You know, like, that's my point. Because here's the thing, right? There is absolutely no reason why anyone would watch a breastfeeding video. Either than to see tits. Cause like, if you're outside and you know the baby is hungry and you gotta feed it, that's a natural organic thing. Like I understand why people do it, but filming yourself doing it and putting on the internet, who do you think is going to like what is it likely that the largest percentage of people that are going to watch that are going to watch it for? Like, well, what do you think most people that watch it for? Your faith in humanity is going to be destroyed, all right? Either you're delusional and you're just telling yourself, no, it's other women that are trying to learn how to breastfeed, as if for thousands of years women just didn't know how, but now that Facebook exists, they can watch these videos. Like, let's be honest. Let's be honest. It's a very big percentage of absolute sickos that are watching those videos. And it's not for the reason you think. Doesn't take Einstein to figure it out. Alright? Like, you go to the comments section on Facebook, and you can see that there's a lot of guys. Do you think they're learning how to chest feed? Maybe they're transitioning, right? So they need to learn. Just in case. Just in case they get pregnant later on. Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, so no, I don't understand why platforms are allowing this. Now, I get it, you know, like if you're out in town and you see like a woman breastfeeding in a subway or something and she gets into the shot, I would understand that, but like if the entire video is focusing on the act, you're going to attract perverts. And I'm pretty sure the women know that, but they do it anyway, so. Yeah, they probably don't care. They just want to attract money. Yeah. The new YouTube beta is transparent clothes. Oh, fuck. No, I'm not trying it on. That's just... no more page 3 in the sun since 2013. Oh, wow. Yeah, there's a lot of... like, it's interesting that the prudishness is actually coming from the left, when the left used to be the Free the Nipple Brigade a couple of years ago. And now it's like literally full-on nakedness if it's a guy, and make it masculine if it's a woman. I think maybe that's the thing, you know, like this is how they're finding the loophole. It's like, okay, if we can sexualize men and we want to see women, then we need to make women look like men, and then we can sexualize them as well. Maybe this is how they're considering it. Women can't help it. Attention soothes their insecurities. I will say this, right? Like in Romania, I don't know if culture has changed. But when I'm, like, in my geographical region, I have never seen a woman breastfeed before my wife. Like, women just don't do it in public. It's just not something that's done. I don't think it's illegal, but women just find it rude. Like, if they need to breastfeed, they just go to a bathroom, right? Like, I'm not saying that it should be illegal. I'm not saying that they're going to get in trouble or anything. It's just they themselves don't want to do it. Like, it's an act that they don't want to perform in public. They would just go into a place where it's secluded and no one gets to see it, and they do it there, right? So I understand it's different in the West. It's just like a cultural difference. I know we're all for multiculturalism, but I guess like you guys don't appreciate my culture. But my point is that like, why is it that in the West they're doing it, but here they don't, right? Because like, there's no one influencing anyone. It's just like people choose to. I even asked my wife, like, I was genuinely curious. It's like, would you breastfeed in public? And she was like, God, no. Why would I? I'm like, okay. It's cultural conservativeness. Normally, socially bashful. Yeah. No, I genuinely think that there's a lot of cases where women are like, oh, look, I'm a mother. Everyone needs to see it. Look, I'm a mother. I'm a mother. Did you see? Did you see what I did? I'm a mother. I'm a mother. And it's like, okay, well, I mean, if that makes you happy, sure. It's on the same level as burping very loudly in public. Yeah, I mean, that too is a bodily function, right? Over here, they just covered themselves with a blanket. See, like, if they covered themselves with a blanket, that would be understandable. But, like, I have seen footage from America, like in live streams and shit. And they just do it out in the open in a restaurant or something. And it's just like, I mean, I guess, but why? Romanian women love attention, right? The behavior to attract that attention is surely cultural. I mean, it's like, there's different types of attention, you know? to be fair, in the current year, motherhood should absolutely be celebrated. No, I'm not saying that it's bad or good. I'm just noticing that women here don't do it, and women in the West do it a lot. And I generally don't understand why. Again, it's not illegal to do it here. I think like people may give you the stink eye though, and it wouldn't be men. Like men would Google, but other women would just like, what are you doing? Why can't you go to the bathroom and do it? You know. Anyway, right. So that was that. What is wokeness? It's the question that keeps popping up on Twitter. Up until now, no one was that curious, but all of a sudden, everyone is like, "What is wokeness? What is it?" Did you notice that? It's like, what is wokeness? Why do we have it? What is it? What? They're not asking because they want an answer. They're asking for two reasons. Like, number one, they want to divert the topic, right? Because instead of saying, "Look, this game is shit," and I'm not going to buy it because X, Y, and Z. And then the topic moves to criticizing the game. Now you're talking about wokeness. Now you're talking about social justice, which is literally what they want, right? Like they just want to talk about their ideology. So when you start explaining what wokeness is, now you're talking about their ideology. The other reason is that they are not interested in debating you. They're not interested in changing your mind. They're not interested in engaging with you. They're doing it for the audience. They want to show the audience that you're uneducated, and they are. They want to show the audience that, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, and they do. So this is why they keep asking what is wokeness. It's not because they genuinely don't know. I mean, for fuck's sake, you can go on ChatGPT and you can ask ChatGPT what is wokeness. And they keep asking this over and over, and they will not be satisfied with any definition that you give, right? Because like if you try to engage with that and you give them a definition, they're not happy with it. They will try to deconstruct it. And the reason they're doing this is because if you cannot target something, if you cannot frame something, you cannot criticize it. And that's pretty much what they want. They don't want criticism to the ideology. So what is wokeness? It's an ideology that came from the United States academia. Well, actually, it's the German academia, but then it moved into the United States. And basically, they created the term. It was, I think, in the colonial studies parts of the academia. They said that wokeness is to be awoken to systemic racial injustices. So it's not a word that right-wingers gave to them. It's a word that the activists themselves created to describe themselves. And they even use the Matrix as the metaphor, right? It's like everyone is asleep, like people don't understand that they're being subjugated by capitalism. And you need to awaken, right? You're woke, because you woke up to the systemic injustices, and now you realize them, now you see them, now you see all the commercials that, you know, are telling you to consume. Now you're seeing that in all commercials, it's just white people, so like whiteness is the norm. You basically see that in all the movies, it's only white people that are represented, and there's no one representing you, etc., etc. Peggy McIntosh is the university professor that came up with this. Don't check the early life. But basically, this is, you know, where the word came from. It's not something that right-wingers gave. Now, wokeness as an ideology is actually difficult to pin down because it's always changing and shifting. It's not like a book, you know? It's not like the Quran. It's not like the Bible where you can actually read the passages. It always shifts. And sometimes, you know, it can be about trans issues one year. Like when it first started, it was about women's issues. It was feminism. Then it moved to Islam. Then it moved to black people. Then it moved to trans people. Then it moved to anti-vaxxers, right? So, like, it's not necessarily a fixed thing, but it does always use the same tools. It always uses the same rhetorics, right? Isms, phobia, political correctness, censorship, inclusion, diversity. Like when you hear someone talk about marginalized folks with an X, that is a woke person. The same thing is with the pronouns and the gender swapping and the race swapping and, you know, all of the human sexuality with polyamory and all of that. All of that is woke. So basically, again, like the subject matter can change. Like, you need to think about wokeness as the hardware, right? Like the hardware is there and it uses the same tools, it uses the same operating system, but the software can change, right? So like you can have like different softwares inserted into the hardware that's going to be worked in a specific way. And wokeness is the hardware. It's the actual machinery that requires the software in order to... So like for instance, when you have the refugee crisis in Europe and there's pushback, right? You have like Islamic terrorist attacks, you have cultural clashes, you have all of that. Wokeness comes in and all of a sudden tells you that, well, Islam is the religion of peace, and, you know, after this terrorist attack, while I grieve for the victims, we need to think about all the innocent Muslims that are going to suffer as a result of the backlash. This is the woke mindset. All the talking points, they're woke. And the way they deal with people that disagree with them, getting them fired, censoring them, making sure that they don't get a job, deconstruct all the arguments. So, yeah, woke is removing features from your video game. Right. But like, when it comes to video games, a lot of gamers have noticed that the quality of video games has decreased dramatically. And it's to the point, and I generally ask this because I'm hoping I will get an answer, but I never do. Which game that came out from a Western company in the last 2 or 4 years could you see yourself playing with your kid 10 years from now? And I don't think I have an answer to that. There's just like not a single game that I can think of that I would replay. Meanwhile, I would replay Mass Effect. Sure, like when my kid is 14, I would gladly install my Mass Effect on his machine, and you know, let him play and then discuss the game with him. Even old games like Baldur's Gate 2, Neverwinter Nights 2. Like, there's a lot of stuff that, I could see myself replaying. Warcraft 3, holy shit. Like, there's so many old games that I can see myself playing with my son when he is older. None of them have been made in the last 5 years in the West, right? I would play with him, like, I would show him Elden Ring, I would show him Stellar Blade, I would show him, like, a lot of games when he's old enough to play them, of course. But all of them are made in Asia. All of them are not made in the East. So, yeah, like Space Marine 2 is another one. But that is the exception, right? And for those of you who don't know, the developer of Space Marine, the CEO, I believe, went under fire for posting under Asmongold's video saying that, I just wanted to make a game that's fun. And he got attacked for it. Due to 2016, I think it's actually older than 5 years. And, my son won't play Doom at 5 years old, man. I don't think it's a good idea to allow kids that are 5 years old to play video games. I think they need to go play outside. I may be a boomer with my mentality, but I think like them having a computer should be when they're 12 or 13 years old. And without the internet, of course. And they should get internet maybe when they're 16 or so. Yeah, there's a lot of indie games that may be fun. And there's also a lot of games that aren't made in the West that are fun. But like stuff that's made in the West in the last 5 years, complete failure, right? So like gamers notice this. And they kind of know why that is, but you know, they can't really articulate it. So they use the word woke to define it. And it's to the point where if two people that are honest are talking to each other and they're in good faith, they kind of know what you're talking about. Now, if you're not in good faith, you're going to pretend you don't know. Now the thing with wokeness is that it's not an on-off switch, right? Like some people may tolerate wokeness at different levels than others. And some of the changes can be hyper woke, others not so much. Like for instance, what is wokeness? Changing the gender of a character from an established franchise. Usually it's one way only. No, actually, my bad. It's always one way only, right? So you have like a male character, and in a sequel you have a female character. And they will say, well, if you don't like that, you're a misogynist. completely ignoring the fact that there's other video games that have female characters that are popular. And at the same time, if you did the reverse, like if instead of Lara Croft, in the next Tomb Raider, you would cast Kevin Sorbo, right? So you have like Tomb Raider, the next installment. And you have Kevin Sorbo, for those of you who don't know, he's Hercules, right? And it's Kevin Sorbo in his prime, voice acted by Kevin Sorbo. And Kevin Sorbo is like a huge right-winger, for those of you who don't know. Like if you go on Kevin Sorbo's Twitter, he's a God-fearing Christian, Trump supporter, loves the cops, wants to fund the police, wants to deport all illegal immigrants, right? So if you did that, if you took Tomb Raider and you casted Hercules instead of her, how do you think people will react? Even I would be pissed off. Even I would be like, dude, this is not Tomb Raider. Why are you doing this? No, I don't want to play as Kevin Sorbo. I want to play as Lara Croft. It's Tomb Raider. Now, if you want to show Kevin Sorbo in another game, like you're casting, I don't know, even if you're casting Indiana Jones, right? You're casting Indiana Jones and you're getting like a Kevin Sorbo lookalike. I mean, okay, he doesn't look like Harrison Ford. But if he's like, no, he's the role of Indy and people call him Indiana and you're trying to make it faithful, like you're dressing Kevin Sorbo up to the point where he does look similar to Indiana Jones, I'll be like, okay, yeah, no, that's fine. So like, this is what woke people do, right? Like, they gender swap a character, and then they pretend it's like a Rorschach test that if you don't like that shit, it's just that there's something wrong with you, while ignoring the fact that it's not due to the idea that it's a woman that's being played, because people like games with women all the time. It's just that, number one, the reason they're doing it, like the ideology, is annoying. And number two, people don't like that when you change the main character of a franchise. Like for instance, Kratos, right? A lot of people don't like the new God of War because, like, Kratos was supposed to be a toxic man. That was like the whole shtick. You're playing as an awful person. You're not supposed to empathize with Kratos. You're not supposed to sympathize with Kratos. You're basically supposed to play this game while seeing what a big piece of shit is Kratos, and it makes you feel uncomfortable playing as him. You're actually not rooting for his accomplishments. It's kind of like when you're playing Arthas in Warcraft 3. Like, it creates this uniqueness that not a lot of video games have. I can't remember what other video games have you playing as the villain. Because Kratos is not even an anti-hero. He's a piece of shit. He's an awful human being. At least in the first 3 games, right? In the first trilogy. But for some reason they decided to humanize him, which, you know, it ended up as a good story. But it took away what made that IP interesting. So yeah, a lot of people complained, and I understand why. Now, if you were to make Kratos a woman, well, you might as well just restart the IP then. Just make something else. Make a spin-off or some shit. It's not God of War. Imagine a 13-year-old who never played Fallout New Vegas or Mass Effect 2, and Ubisoft is trying to sell them Star Wars Outlaws for $80. That 14-year-old probably plays Asian games. Like, there is a reason, and it's not even that. Like, I'm looking at the stats, and I'm trying to see, like, what are young people playing nowadays. And they're playing, like, games that I never touched or never will. Roblox, Fortnite. Like, they're staying away from this cancerous shit. Some of them play League of Legends and Dota, Counter-Strike. Right? Like, this is what the young people are playing. They're not attracted by the AAA market, and why would they? I just want to show you guys something, right? Like, let me show you what's not woke. Because you immediately know when something is not woke. So, let's look at Assassin's Creed Black Flag trailer, right? Let's look at a time when Ubisoft wasn't woke.
Nicola s-a născut la numai.
Hold on, I'm getting an ad for kids with cancer. Not to buy kids that have cancer, but to, like, donate so that, yeah, you know what. Okay.
Peggy 18.
So, when you're asked, like, what is woke? Like, man, I don't fucking know, but I know for sure this isn't it. Like, you see this, and you know it's not woke. Like, look at it.
Have you ever been disrespected? Forced to follow orders? would you rather defy your masters and live by the creed of pirates? Are you ready to fight for the freedom to act as you wish? Calling all men of fortune, willing to pledge allegiance to no one. Calling all who are ready to defy. Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag.
Do I need to say anything else? Like, is there anything else that I need to add? You know what's interesting? That wasn't even that of a good game. Like, when Black Flag came out, it was okay. But it was no Mass Effect. Ah. Freedom, it's a danger to democracy. A danger to democracy vibe to it, yes. Remember the time we were drinking with a bunch of ladies of the night? Oh yeah. That was actually a thing in Assassin's Creed. Like, there were prostitutes going around, and if you paid them, they allowed you to go in the middle of them, and they would like walk around the street with you in the middle, and they would flirt with the guards and stuff, so that you could stealth around. You know, like, you could pay the prostitutes to distract the guards, or you could just walk in the middle of them, and you could pass the guards. They wouldn't notice you. Yeah, that's one of the first things that had to go. Remember that time you pulled out a rocket launcher and you blew up 7 enemy soldiers? Do you feel bad about that? No. Black Flag was Blackrock was the first Assassin's Creed game I played and made me go back to play the original 3. Yeah. It was like really cool. And when you look at the trailers, I mean, all right, let me show you another trailer for a game that's not woke.
A king and his son have defeated a mighty empire.
Every single fucking game was masculine as fuck. Like, literally everything. Nowadays, it's like, oh, Britain is under fascist occupation. And like they're making these games, I don't know, the presentation for it is very queer. Like, you look at Dragon Age and the way it's presented, right? It's very Rick and Morty-like, I guess you could say, or not even that. Maybe like a little bit of Steven Universe type of thing, where it's quirky. Quirky is the word. Yeah, like all the trailers now are quirky, tongue-in-cheek, right? And listen to how they used to be back then.
King and his son have defeated a mighty empire.
They fucking subjugated those bitches. Fucking brought down the armies, and a king and his son defeated the mighty empire. It's like, holy shit. Right? Like that was back then. Or when you look at Black Flag, have you ever been disrespected? And then it like shows like smacking that out of it. Just like, give me disrespect, spam. Like that was like the vibe of the games in the past. You show me this? Yeah, that's not woke. No, it's not. King and his son defeated the mighty empire. Look at it. Just one sentence and you're already in. Like, immersion. That doesn't require many words. That doesn't talk about the character creator, doesn't talk about the chess cards, doesn't talk about the cellulitis. A king and his son defeated the mighty empire, bitch. You know, it's like, okay. Doesn't talk about the minorities. It's like, oh, but what about the people defeated? Do we get to play as them? Do they get to fight against their oppressor? No! You are the oppressor. You defeated their mighty empire, you know? It's like,
have defeated a mighty empire, inheriting an extravagant hourglass and a mysterious dagger. that contain the mystical powers of the sands of time.
Inside the hourglass is a marvel that no living man has seen. Only the dagger can unlock the sands of time, and it belongs to a greater one than I.
But when the prince is tricked into releasing an ancient and evil curse,
You have unleashed the sands of time. I can undo what you have done. Give me the dagger.
he'll have to put his faith in a woman he has no reason to trust.
My father's army sacked your palace, captured you as a slave. You have every reason to hate me. Now you want me to trust you.
Go on! There's no time! The dagger! He must not get the dagger!
Now he must use his power to control time, to get the sands back. The power of revival. The power of delay. The power of restraint. The power of haste. The power of destiny. From Ubisoft Studios comes the epic tale of a prince searching for redemption and the kingdom he must save. Prince of Persia, the Sands of Time.
16 years ago, Chad. 16 years ago. Yeah, now it would be the power of bankruptcy. Okay, you know why they can't make this game anymore? Because they would say it's Orientalism. The Americans decided that this is offensive to the Middle East, so they're not going to do that, despite the fact that I know people from the Middle East who absolutely love this game. But they believe that the 1001 Nights Tales is Orientalism, so you can't do it. And the idea of, like, oh, the princess is kept as a slave. No, we can't, no. You know, we can show blood, guts, and gore, but that topic is too heavy. We can talk about destroying the systemic systems of racism, capitalism, you know, tearing down the system. We can talk about that, but, like, the fact that there was slavery back in the day, no. So, anyway, they will never make a game like that. But they did, you know, they made the new trailer to Prince of Persia. And I want you to compare that one with this one, right? So, again, like, the original was a king and his son defeated a mighty empire. What do we see here?
Our kingdom is cursed. The prince has been kidnapped.
Right, so like from the king and his son defeated a mighty empire to the prince is a little bitch. Can't even give it like I mean, yeah, the king is the kingdom is probably in major shit. Even the prince gets kidnapped. Holy shit! Wow.
And taken
Wait,
to.
hold on. What is this guy? Hold on. Is this a guy or a woman? Look at this jawline. I think it's a man because women in progressive games have stronger jawlines, right? So this must be a man. Holy shit, man! I pity the dude. I mean, you can see that he does work out. Like he is trying to impress the ladies with some time at the gym. But man, with a jaw like this, no, I'm sorry. You lost the lottery in life. There's nothing you can do. You know, like if you're a woman with small tits, you can put some socks in the bra. If you're a man that's kind of tiny, maybe you can wear some bigger shoes or some shit. You know, But if you have a jawline like this,
and taken to a forbidden land.
and everyone has colored hair. Did you notice this? Hold on, where was it? Yeah, everyone has colored hair. I mean, it's a medieval fantasy. You'd think that dyes are hard to come across, but no.
And taken to a forbidden land.
Again, it's wait, is this Sargon of Akkad? Carl, what are you doing? But yeah, so it's Prince of Persia. The prince is kidnapped, and you don't play in Persia. You play in a forbidden land. You gotta understand, the reason they're doing this is you cannot have the princess in any type of danger, right? So instead of the princess getting kidnapped, is the prince getting kidnapped. Which, you know, like, it wouldn't be a problem, but like every single fucking game is energizing from these themes. And you're like patching into IPs that were oozing with masculinity, and you're just changing that theme, and it's like, why not just make something else then? It's not going to sell anyway. Like women don't play this game. Women don't like violence. They don't like violent shit. Right? So like they're not going to be interested. And the men aren't going to be interested either. It's not masculine. It doesn't speak to me.
All hope rests with us, the immortals, to rescue him and save the Empire. But we weren't prepared for what was coming next.
Prince of Persia with this type of music. Is Papa Diddy going to come up and do the singing and the hand signs and the shit?
So I can't say no.
Then again, they weren't prepared for me.
Well, the customers weren't prepared for you either. No one is prepared for this. And the thing that really pisses me off is that it's not necessarily a bad game, but it's not Prince of Persia. It's, like there is nothing to do with Prince of Persia. It's not set in the 1001 Nights thing. This was like Egyptian shit. The aesthetics here, right? Like they look Egyptian. Am I wrong? What country is this? Anyway, it's a forbidden land, so it's not Persia. But like, Prince of Persia, if you want to go back to the 2D roots, it would be like slow, methodical gameplay. With traps, and they kind of did some of that. But it would be more like Dark Souls, like very unforgiving. You know, you if you fall in a trap, you die instantly. And then you have to restart the level. That would have been cool if they did it, but it's like, you're just taking the name. You're just taking the name, Prince of Persia. You're not keeping the theme. You're not keeping any of the original gameplay. You're not doing anything. You're just making like more of the same, you know, like, oh, the mental illness haircut. Like, again, the reason I'm saying it's more of the same, I have seen so many black characters with this haircut. Like, where is the originality? What are your concept artists doing? You know, it's the haircut of Echo from League of Legends. I think like they saw that Echo was popular and now everyone has to do it. And hip-hop music, because yes, like black people, hip-hop, right? And Egypt. It's literally what the consultants know, right? Black people, Egypt, hip-hop. You put that in, they will buy your game. And they don't. They're not buying their game, they're buying anime. Prince of Gaza? Oof. The story is actually set in Egypt? I don't know what it is, I never bought the game. Like, this trailer was enough to convince me not to buy it. And I'm a huge Prince of Persia fan. It was one of my favorite games. So much so that I saved money for a year just to buy a new graphics card so I can play it. If you didn't have, I think it was 180 or something like that. It was like a requirement that you needed to have like at least this graphics card in order for the game to even launch. And that graphics card was incredibly expensive at the time. So I saved an entire year just to buy a new graphics card, which was a second-hand one, by the way, so I can play this game. And it was amazing. It was amazing. And it's like, yeah, it created a really good franchise. I don't know why they stopped making it. Oh, they stopped making it because Assassin's Creed killed it. Right, they decided to make Assassin's Creed. Back then, it wasn't wokeness that was killing video games. It was accessibility. So it was the same shit. It was like, well, we need to make games easier so more people can play them. And they were making games easier and easier to the point where I think it was Prince of Persia 4, you literally couldn't die. Like, if you were to fall down in a pit, the princess would save you. If a monster killed you, the princess would save you. If anything happened, the princess would save you. So it was like one of those games that dying was impossible. And once you figured that out, like, there's no reason to try. There's no reason to, you know, get involved in the combat or really feel anything. Like, there was no obstacle, basically. And a lot of people hated that game. Despite the fact that the graphics weren't bad, the game looked kind of cool, and everything was there, but, like, they removed the difficulty to the point where it was beyond casual level. And after that, they made Assassin's Creed. And in Assassin's Creed, they also trivialized it, because in Prince of Persia, the climbing mechanics had a lot of puzzles to them. So you couldn't just, like, hold a button and do parkour. You could wall run, but, like, sometimes you would think, okay, if I wall run here, is the distance long enough for me to grab the ledge? Or you need to wall run here. When you reach this spot, you press the jump, and then you need to press jump again. And, you know, like, it was like a platformer thing. And Assassin's Creed completely removed that, and you now just hold the button, which was, when Assassin's Creed 1 came out, it was the feet button. So you just hold the feet button, you go towards a wall, and the character just climbs automatically. So there was, like, a lot of casualization at the time. If you remember that the Ubisoft companies are apparently challenged, then you can understand why they kept making Chinese design choices in the new Japanese Assassin's Creed game. I generally don't know what the fuck they were thinking, man. I don't know. Like it's not really that hard to, you know, hire a Japanese person to... Like even I'm making a game that has, like, certain Japanese references, and I did talk to Japanese people, and it's like, well, is this correct? Because I tapped into the lore of kitsunes with Tanama no Mei and other, you know, like, things about Japanese shrines and their religion, and I was asking them, you know, like, tell me about yokai. Tell me, like, did I get this right? Is this correct? You know, am I making a fool of myself? It's not that hard, but they didn't, because they're arrogant and they don't give a fuck. I've tried to play 3 different Assassin's Creed games. Didn't last 30 minutes. Yeah, they are kind of boring. I mean, I can't say I hated the Assassin's Creed series. It was okay. It always pissed me off that they killed Prince of Persia, because that was fun. Assassin's Creed 1 was kind of cool, because it had, like, the social aspect of stealth, and you gotta plan your executions and get it right. But after that, it kind of became boring, I think. I don't know if there's, like... It had the story with Desmond, which had some intrigue, right? With the animus and shit. But then they gave up on that. Like, they just completely gave up on that after Assassin's Creed 4. I don't think they even mentioned it. So, yeah, it was kind of cool for a while. But I can see why you would say it's boring. I do think it's a franchise that's overhyped. Prince of Persia was an amazing franchise. But now that I think about it, Ubisoft didn't really have that many great games. It had Anno. Anno was a good game. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, Ubisoft actually didn't have that. Oh, it actually tried with Heroes of Might and Magic. So Ubisoft did have Heroes of Might and Magic, and that was kind of cool. But I don't know why they stopped making it. I saw It's a Gundam quoted you in his latest video. And in Legendary Drop's latest video, in the comments, a few people mentioned you. Congrats. What did he say? Did he quote me? Let me see. Oh, that's interesting. I did actually get one of my staff to do It's a Gundam's avatar. I don't know if you guys do this, but he's using a VTube avatar, right? And that is made by one of my staff.
That's when little mama came to still in lust.
Alright, hold on.
She off the rate the scale, she had me shut.
On September 24th, Sony's State of Play aired. Judging by the comments, that I saw, people were displeased, calling the live stream the state of remasters, which they weren't wrong. Many of the games shown off.
Yeah. Like this is another thing with wokeness. It's the people that are pushing the ideology. They don't have creativity, man. They can't make something new.
Were remasters.
And you know what the biggest cope is? Like, this is what I absolutely despise. The biggest cope is that they say, oh, well, everything has been done already. So it's difficult to come up with something new. Well, how does Stellar Blade do it? How does Wukong do it? Shut the fuck up.
Dislike ratio is the highest I have ever seen for a PlayStation event, sitting at 7,300 dislikes. The huge selling point was PlayStation Pro, which Sony hopes you will buy and play the same games.
Yeah, I don't know why anyone would buy it. The only reason you would buy it is like a piece of jewelry. You know, like when you buy an expensive watch and you put a nice suit to go along with it. Yeah, it's kind of the only reason you'd buy a PS4 Pro, a PS5 Pro. It's just to show that you have it. When people come into your house, it's like, look, I got a PS5 Pro.
All over again on it. But this time you get a higher frame rate. Wait, hold on. I mean, enhanced mode.
Yes!
An upgraded GPU, advanced ray tracing, and AI-driven upscaling that combine to bring developers closer to real.
A few weeks ago, I guess the Concord tax is real.
An instrument predominantly played by women throughout Japanese history. Twitter reactions for the game deteriorated into a few groups of thought. Sony fans, who view any AAA exclusive title as a massive victory over Xbox and PC players.
I can't believe this is still going. Like there actually used to be a time when there was the console wars, as people like to say. And back then, every single console actually did have a lot of exclusives. Like, for instance, you had Halo for the Xbox, and you had Resident Evil for the PlayStation, Mortal Kombat for the PlayStation, Kojima for the PlayStation. I don't know why people got an Xbox. I genuinely don't fucking know. But like, at least you did have that. And there was like, oh, well, why are you getting a PC, right? It's like, PC doesn't have any exclusives. But now there's no point in getting a console.
These people are passengers in their own lives, crying out desperately for meaning. So they place their value and self-worth into purchases and brands. Ghost of Tsushima was a good game.
See, I disagree with God. They're not even purchasing shit. If they were purchasing shit, games wouldn't go bankrupt. Game companies wouldn't go bankrupt. Like, Forspoken would not bankrupt the studio. They're not purchasing. They're just bitching on the internet.
I can understand enthusiasm for playing a sequel, but lavishing praise on it like a child or a beloved pet, I'll never understand.
I'll explain to you. It's easy to explain. Hold on. My battery died. Yeah. Everything else is shit. Right? So when everything else is shit, it looks good. Like imagine this, right? Imagine it. You got a burned piece of toast. And it's burned. It's bitter. It's awful, right? You wouldn't eat it. But now imagine you're in a place. And it's a latrine. Everything is shit. The walls are shit. The floor is everything. And you're sitting there for 2 days. And now you have access to that burnt piece of toast. It's still a burnt piece of toast. But all of a sudden, just because you're starving and there's shit all around, you're going to eat it. And you're going to say, well, that's actually good.
Casual gamers who looked at the trailer and said to themselves, cool, I'll check it out later. Then you have woke gaming Twitter and anti-woke gaming Twitter, for lack of a better term. These two groups lock horns on the...
Normal people. Normal people instead of normal people. At this point, it's not even left and right. Leftists don't buy these games either. Like, you need to be like a fringe leftist to support these products.
Regular basis, and I tend to keep out and avoid it all. Now, if you have common sense, or you don't default lean to the left on all subjects, woke gaming Twitter hates you, while anti-woke gaming Twitter is fine with you more often than not. That being said, I was tagged in a tweet, being called a grifter, who hated the ghost of Yotai, and I was...
Yeah. If you don't like the latest woke game, you're a grifter. 100%. It's just the way it is.
Going to, and I quote, cry about it. At the time, I was talking to an attractive woman, and I couldn't care less than I do now. But curiosity, it always kills the content-creating cat. So, here's what's going on.
What the hell is going on?
The voice actors and the mocap actor for the main character of
support the game, especially with attitudes
I'm trying to
like
find out
that.
where he quoted me.
Extension, in this equation. Wouldn't it be nice if this made incels die?
The tolerant left, everyone. Meanwhile, he has a wife and kids, and last I recall, there's a natural disaster in a village in his area, and he got medical supplies to those people. And what have you done for anyone, Alan? Gall.
Oddly enough, she also blocked people that were defending her. I don't know why, and I don't care to find out.
Seriously, woman, I was defending you. Well, I guess that's... It's not enough to put me away.
Seen as its early days,
Here we
Sucker
go.
Punch did hire former sweep
gaming community is a big red flag.
I think for a game that has a history, I need to read it myself. You know, I'm so fucking proud of what I write, chat. Is this normal? Do you guys do this? Like, you write something and then you're really proud of it? Hiding an activist for a game that has a history which doesn't connect with the gaming community is a big red flag. It's not enough to put me away from the game yet, but it's a red flag regardless. Yeah, I think this is a base take. I think solid take. 10 out of 10 Kotaku. If you don't think like this, you're a problem. This is like such a base take. Based in reality, chat. Based and grounded in reality.
It's not enough to put me away from the game yet, but it is a red flag regardless. I hope it's the only one.
That's not my voice. I'm a lot more squeaky.
I can understand the apprehension and the exhaustion. It seems like Hollywood and the gaming industry as a whole routinely...
He understands me. Oh my god, I found my spirit animal. My brother from another mother. It's true. It's absolutely true. It is exhausting. Very exhausting.
Works of people who lean pretty far left, but you never see anyone who leans right, let alone far right, get in.
Yeah, no, seriously, imagine if they were to cast Kevin Sorbo instead of Jin. Holy fucking shit. Holy fucking shit, chat. If they casted Kevin Sorbo in the new Ghost of Tsushima, oh my fucking god. The journalist would have a meltdown.
Major roles in movies or video games. Remember the Hogwarts dev that had a conservative YouTube channel years before he found a job in gaming? When Kotaku and other gaming journalists...
Oh, yeah, they went after this guy. I forgot about this. I should watch It's a Gundam more often. The thing is, if I watch these videos, I take the talking points. Because I kind of think on the same wavelength. So I try not to watch other content creators from the same sphere. Like, you can see what I'm watching here, right? I'm watching music videos, anime shit, Age of Mythology, how to play. And I don't know why these other things are being suggested to me, but okay.
Found out about him, they hounded that man until he stepped down from his involvement in the game. You won't see that happen here. I would say that Erica has Matt Walsh energy, but the difference is you'll never see his ass in anything he isn't funding or producing himself. The pendulum only swings in one direction, and I think a lot of people are getting tired of that. But instead of being listened to, they're just written off as... This then leads to more animosity, especially when the in vogue political opinion is so smug in their victories. America is starting to mirror the Weimar Republic right before a certain painter came to power, and that scares me. I've seen some wild takes from anti-woke gaming crowd, while the progressive gaming crowd did victory laps calling everyone that had any criticism, no matter how small, a grifter. Sean Layden, the former Sony...
Yeah, everyone's a grifter. I don't even know, like... Hold on, I need to... Alright. I don't even know what definition of grifter they use. Notice how no one asks, but what is a grifter? How do you define a grifter? This is what I'm going to do. When a leftist calls me a grifter now, I'm going to be like, what is a grifter? How do you define a grifter? What is grifting? It's like, what? Like, a grifter is someone that doesn't believe in something, right? And says it anyway. Am I correct? So... do they genuinely think that we enjoy these woke games? Like when we content creators, when we're not online, we pull the drapes from our windows and we lock ourselves in our room and then we start playing Concord. Alright. Anyway, my phone battery is dead. Oh, Rose Pendragon, thank you for the $20. I must say, a better idea would be to just use different mythological gods or war. Plus, I think the issue is that gamers at the time wanted more serious story to make Hollywood look up to gaming culture. Yeah, it's true. And they actually were successful. Like, a lot of video games had really great stories. I think, you know, a lot of people disregard Telltale games. But, like, Telltale Games, The Walking Dead, that was so fucking good, man. And it's a game that barely has any gameplay. But it was a story, immersive-driven game, and it was absolutely phenomenal. I actually was sad when Telltale Games went broke. But it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section, and I'll see you on my other channels, because I got more videos to upload.